Okay, Conor, let's start with the easy one. How's the summer been?
Yeah, summer's been good. Yeah, ready to get back going though.
Do you do any other sports than hockey on summertime?
Play a little bit of tennis, a little bit of golf. Nothing crazy, nothing too hard on the body.
How do you describe yourself as a golf player?
Not good, not a good one. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay, same here.
Yeah.
Let's go back over a decade. You played 11-12 season. You played with Toronto Marlboros in under 16 AAA games. You played 88 games. You scored 79 goals and gave 130 assists. That's unfair, is it?
Yeah, it was a good year for sure. It was playing minor hockey with the Marlies in the GTHL was really fun. For me it was a good challenge, and just getting myself ready to make the next step to the OHL.
Well, the next step to OHL with Eri Otters, how much things changed for you there?
I would say that's one of the biggest jumps you're going to make, really. You go from playing kids your own age or around your own age at least to, I was 15 years old playing against 21-year-old, I guess almost men, but 21-year-old kids, and it was a big challenge. And you're not fully developed yet at 15 years old, and I think I was 5'10", 160 pounds, and taking on these bigger guys, it was a challenge, and forced me to play my game a little bit differently, and but something that I think really helped me moving forward.
Does it feel like pro hockey in OHL?
I think it does.
Like the rinks and locker rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's junior, but when you're that age, it feels like the NHL. And when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, you've watched junior hockey for a number of years, and kind of go and try to picture yourself playing there. And when you're actually playing there, it feels like you're playing the most important hockey out there. It's kind of a fun thing that way. It's the next step to the NHL, and you can see that your dream's getting a little bit closer, and it's just fun.
I've done the NHL the past 15 seasons as my job. And I remember you from your time with Eri Otters and all the rumbles before you came into NHL. How specified your practice has been through your teenage years? Like, have you practiced some area like skating and hands in different times, or it's been?
Yeah, I think you're always trying to improve your game and develop your game, and of course when you're going through junior, you're trying to get yourself ready to play in the NHL, and you put in a lot of hours, a lot of work, making sure your game is getting better each and every day, and I spend lots of time skating, and like you said, working on my hands and working on my shot is a big one. Something that I still continue to work at to this day. So yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
How to be certain to pick the right coaches on the path you're developing yourself? Has there been any false promises or wrong coaches on your career?
I think you got to take it a lot into your own hands. Coaches are there to help and assist you in any way they can, but ultimately you got to be the one to put in the work. And I'm lucky to have been surrounded by some really good hockey minds, and some great skills coaches and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it was always kind of me doing the work, and spending lots of time even by yourself working on things. I rollerblade a lot. So it's something that I think the player's got to take a lot of ownership in his own development.
At the same time working with the NHL, I'm also a hockey coach for under 13-year-old guys back home in Tampere, Finland. One of the practices is where I've done a couple of past years is I put marks on between the blue lines, and I shout to the guys, you go through the blue lines with McDavid skating. What is the key thing in your skating?
That's a good question. I think I cross over well. I'm able to generate some good speed on my crossovers, and I think the main thing is just going as hard as you can. Really, it's not easy to skate that fast. Although some guys make it look pretty easy. Like a Kale McCarr or something like that. But definitely not easy, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of energy, and you got to work at it. That's just the way it is.
Has it always been your primary key to skating?
Yeah, I think it has been. You know, growing up, I was always a good skater, really comfortable on my skates. I kind of grew up on my skates, really, you know, on the ice or on my rollerblades or whatever. You know, I kind of been skating for, you know, many years now. So you know, it's like second nature now.
Easy question. Have you always loved hockey?
Yeah, I have for sure. You know, just being a Canadian kid, like I'm sure it is in Finland, you know, you're just surrounded by hockey. You know, my dad loved hockey. He was always watching, and you know, my brother was, you know, my older brother, so you know, he's a couple years older than me. He got into hockey really young, and you know, I kind of just wanted to follow his path, and was always playing, you know, street hockey with, you know, my dad and brother or the kids in the neighborhood, or you know, just fell in love with the game right away, and loved it ever since.
Who were the players that got into your wall in your own room on posters there?
Yeah.
What you looked up to?
Yeah, I think when I was really young, it would have been like a Matt Sundin or something like that. You know, just being the Toronto captain. You know, I grew up kind of watching the Leafs, and he was the captain and a great player, and you know, a guy like Gary Roberts or something like that, who was you know, very fortunate to train with now, but he was fun to watch in his own way for the Leafs. And then as I got a little bit older, I started to watch Sid, you know, as he kind of broke into the league, and you know, wanted to kind of follow his path, and you know, be the, you know, first overall pick and do all these great things, and you know, so he kind of became the guy as I got a little bit older.
Well, the time goes fast. You've been in the NHL already 7 years. How much you describe your time in NHL, and how much have you changed as a player on that time?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly goes fast, like you said. You know, it's hard to believe it's, you know, I'm heading into my 8th season. But yeah, I think I've changed a lot. You know, my game has kind of evolved a few times over. You know, I look back to some of the older clips, and you know, maybe a little bit more reckless as a younger player, just taking pucks to the net and stuff like that. I still have that in my game a little bit, but you know, I think maybe just a little bit smarter, a little more calculated, I guess. Probably better defensively now, and you know, some of those areas that just take time to develop. You know, like defending, or you know, the face-off circle and stuff like that. Some of the stuff that fans don't necessarily care too much about, but that are super important to rounding out your game.
Winning, how hard is it?
It's obviously very hard. You know, we've been doing this media stuff, you know, all day yesterday and stuff like that. And I think someone said only 13 or 14% of guys win. So I didn't know that number. That's a pretty staggering number. You know, that's not many guys get a chance to do it. So it obviously is hard, and something that we're trying to learn in Edmonton and figure out. And you know, we've gone through some learning processes. You know, the last couple of playoff exits. So we're learning how to win, and we're going to get there.
From your point of view, and also from the team point of view, what do you need to do to get on the next, to take the next step?
That's the question. You know, that's the question that we're all trying to figure out, right? I think everybody's trying to figure out, you know, is what is the next step, and you know, obviously for us, we getting to play Colorado in the Western Conference Final was a good lesson. You know, realizing that there's a whole nother level to get to, and you know, Colorado is a great example of a team that just put themselves in a good position every year, and you know, had lots of disappointments, and you know, and one year it just clicks, and I think that's a story for a lot of teams, and you know, we're looking forward to getting back to camp and starting to build it back up this week.
Last one. What does Conor McDavid expect from Conor McDavid?
Lots. He expects lots. You know, more than maybe even the media and the fans do. You know, I expect myself to perform each and every night, and I want to perform every night and be at my best. And you know, it's frustrating when that doesn't happen sometimes, but I want to be the best player in the world, and you know, help my team win and as best I can.